He's an extremely well-organized person. He's a workaholic. He loves his family and friends. He cares sincerely about his athletes, and I know that they care and feel the same way about him. He is highly self-motivated, very focused. He enjoys coaching his teams and his athletes. He has a great knowledge of track and field, and he knows how to give that knowledge to his track and field athletes, and then in turn inspire them and motivate them to achieve at their highest level. And those are the reasons why he's was such a great athlete here at El Cap, and why he is doing such a great job in coaching right now. Here are some of the achievements that Chris accomplished while he was in high school. He competed 4 years in track and field, 2 years in varsity football. In 1990, he was the track and field athlete of the year. He was 5 times league champion in the 110 high hurdles, the 300 intermediate hurdles, and the 4x400 relay. In 1988 and 89, he never lost a race in the 110 high hurdles in the Grossmont League. He was 3 times a CIF finalist, and he had multiple type awards at the end of the year banquet every year. Lots of awards. Here are some of the things that he's accomplished while he's been coaching. In 1999 to 2001, he was coaching over at Helix High, and they won every league championship they were involved in. Also in 1999, his team was a CIF runner-up, and he had the honor of coaching Reggie Bush. In 1999, he was also named the Grossmont Conference League Coach of the Year. From 2002 to 2008, he came over here to El Cap and was coaching at El Cap, and they won 6 Grossmont League championships. From 2010 to 2016, he moved on to the high school that he's presently at, Del Norte High School, up in the North County, one of the Poway schools. And in those 6 years, he's won 8 league championships. In 2013 and 2014, he was named the San Diego County Boys Track and Field Coach of the Year. And in 2015, he was the California Athletic Boys Track and Field Coach of the Year for Southern California. So he's had a lot of accomplishments as a coach and as an athlete. A couple things I want to say before I have Chris come up here and receive his award. First of all, Chris, I'm very happy that you sort of took over the Frosh Soft Championships, which was a meet I started here at Capitan High School in 1986. And it's a meet solely for freshmen and sophomores. I used to call it the Carroll Frosh Soft Championships, Meet of Future Champions. And it truly was. Everyone that was in that meet, and I'm sure it's happening right now. You will hear about them as juniors and seniors as going to the state meet, and even beyond that. Some of them have gone even farther than that and done better. Also, Chris, I'm very thankful what you did, and I don't think you've gotten a lot of credit for this, but I know you had a lot to do with the new football stadium playing surface and the new El Capitan track surface. You did a lot of work. I know you contacted Santo Pernicano. You were in contact with Diane Jacob, the Lakeside Planning Commission, and the Barona Indian Reservation, and a few people here at El Capitan High School. And I know that you worked very hard to assure that that track was going to come in, because you were coaching here and you wanted an all-weather track. As a matter of fact, I remember him telling me the story. Well, the track was going in. He slept out on the track all night long, at least one night. I don't know if he did more than that, probably, to make sure no one came on the track or the football field before it settled, after they had laid the surfaces and so on. And so we're very appreciative of that, to you for that also, Chris. And now it gives me a great deal of pleasure. I'd like to call Chris up here to to receive his honor as one of El Capitan Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, this name tag keeps falling off, so I think you guys know who I am now. Go ahead and take it off. It is my great honor to be standing here tonight. I want to make sure I thank my colleagues on the Hall of Fame committee. It's nice to call them colleagues. They were all my coaches, at some point it seems like, and certainly my mentors. It's a great honor to be standing up here today, especially sharing this experience with all the other inductees, and like I said, especially Phil. Real quickly, that whole stadium thing and everything was certainly a team effort, and all the things that happened with Frost off, and you saw me patting Anthony's back over there. Anthony and I were co-head coaches here during that time. We spent a lot of time together on all those proposals and things like that for the track and field, and so I just wanted to make sure Anthony gets proper credit, and I think it was Anthony's idea that we named the Frost off meet the Dick Wilkins Frost off meet. And a little story with the Dick Wilkins Frost off meet. It's now at Del Norte High School. We kept having conflicts with the rodeo dates because they would change occasionally, and it became, frankly, a bone of contention. So we ended up moving up to the school I'm at now, and still the Dick Wilkins Frost off track and field championships. Well, 2 years ago, Coach Wilkins comes up to help out at the Frost off meet, and goes up and I think introduces himself, and the lady said, "Oh, great, nice to meet you, that's $5. He says he doesn't remember this, but Don was telling me the story. Don Jones is a legendary coach from Rancho Bernardo over there and an El Cap alumni. We charged Dick Wilkins to get into the Dick Wilkins Frost off. He had his wallet. So the next year he came in and I made sure he got in for free that year, and then he spent the next 10 hours helping clerk the Dick Wilkins Frost off meet. So that's one of my favorite stories ever now, and embarrassing. My parents did a great job making sure everybody paid. So I'm not going to come up here and talk about myself. I'm going to talk about all the people that got me to where I am and got me doing the thing that I'm most passionate about, which is coaching. I certainly consider myself more of a coach than an athlete these days, and I certainly look more like a coach than an athlete. Those pictures were many, many pounds ago, and fond memories, but distant memories at that. I'd like to start by thanking, all of my colleagues, and though I'm not a coach at El Capitan at the moment, I'll never rule it out. I always consider this my home. In all, I spent 4 years as an athlete here. I spent 13 years as a coach here. My son Tyler graduated last year from here and ran track for 4 years here. And my daughter Emily is now a sophomore here, up in the front row there. She plays soccer and runs track, and she was a 3-sport varsity letterwoman last year in soccer and cross country and track. So again, I still consider myself an integral part of El Capitan's community and Lakeside's community, and I'm very proud of that. It's really humbling to have this bestowed on me tonight. I find being gracious is one of the things I don't do well. It makes me uncomfortable, in case you can't tell. And frankly, this award says my name on it and things like that, but it's not an individual honor. There's so many people that are responsible for all my athletic success when I was here, any of my athletic success, and my coaching success too. The greatest influence is Coach Wilkins. I'm one of those guys that cries a lot with stuff like this. His knowledge made me a really good track athlete, his track knowledge. His work ethic and passion for the sport made me a really good coach. People take for granted sometimes how they were introduced to sports and things like that. I was all set to go to Grossmont High School and went kicking and screaming to El Capitan, and it's funny how things work and fate works. I ended up here, and it was the best thing that could ever happen to me. Coach's example as a person, and Coach Brooks and Coach Rockhold and Coach Storm as well, made me a better man, better father, made me a much better coach than the thousands of athletes I've coached in 24 years. And I'm so very blessed to have a coach in my life. So besides Coach, think we ought to build a shrine here, Coach. There were other incredible people that I had associated with here. Coach Rockhold, who was my hurdle coach and my football coach, let me be me. I was an angry kid. Had a lot of things going on then, and thought the whole world was against me, and all the teenage angst. I had it all. And Coach Vickery and Coach Onion can tell you. But Coach put up with my fits of rage and let me be me, Coach Rockhold, and was patient with me. If I was my coach, I would have kicked me off the team a couple of times, most likely. Coach Storm, my sophomore year, was there every day. Where are you, Coach? There he is. Was there every day in the winter, and Kirsten Guild and I were out there working out in the my sophomore year in winter track and working out every day. And Coach spent his time out there with us, and I really appreciate that, Coach. And also when I was a colleague of yours at the same time coaching, Coach Cleves, who Philip mentioned earlier, kind of asked Philip and I what workouts we were doing in December, and then made sure he was there pretty much every day afterwards because we would have run ourselves into the ground doing the things we thought would make us better. Coach Brooks, who I had a very small sample with, he passed away after I graduated. I was at San Diego State running track with Pete Brooks and his daughter-in-law Cindy, who were both athletes from here too. He just had this passion about the sport. Maybe today's political environment, his things he said probably wouldn't have been all that acceptable. But I'm sure if he grew up at this time, he would have adjusted accordingly. He was an amazing athlete, an amazing coach. And his infectious laughter, I can still hear. I can hear it right now, clear as a bell. And I had him, I was in his geometry class, and I had gotten a D the year before in Mr. Liebernet's class because they didn't understand him. And Coach Brooks had me, and I got an A in his class, and I understood it. I actually understood it for some reason. And I was mouthing off in class, and he goes, Chris, you're a heck of an athlete. So he used the other word. He goes, but you sure are an a-hole. At the time, probably pretty fitting. Dick Wilkins, Steve Vickery, my current athletic director, Mike Jaume, who I don't think could get down the hill tonight from Del Norte. They're the best athletic directors I've ever come in contact with, and I've been at some pretty good places. And they made it really easy to succeed and didn't put any roadblocks in our way to stop us from that. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is just stay out of the way. And those guys stayed out of the way and supported us, and it made it a heck of a lot easier as a coach to succeed here. My favorite coaching memories here, when I was back at El Capitan, I spent a short stint at Helix. Had a good deal of success there, but a contentious one with one of the administrators in particular. And, well, she didn't like that, I didn't like my style. It was too intense. Jim Arnai's a legendary coach over at Helix, said he's everything he said he was going to be, so it's not shocking. But our team went from 60 kids to 89 kids, and our ineligibility issues went from went from 25 to 3 or 4, and we won 33 meets and lost 3. So I got fed up and I came back home, licking my wounds. After finishing second at CIF and going to the state meet and all that, and winning the 4x1 at the state meet, I came back here, and our teams were 0-6 and 1-5 the year before I got back. Coach's daughter Carrie was the head coach here with me, and then later Anthony Garcia was the co-head coach, and we ended Helix's girls winning streak at 30-something, I think. Caught them off guard. Anthony and I predicted everything they do. They underestimated us. We beat them. Didn't say a word. Got in our bus, announced it to the kids, and I'm sure they could hear us from the parking lot at that point. But their athletic director came up to me and said, "Well, it's just a dual meet. It doesn't mean anything." I said, "Then why are you here?" And a year later, we had them at our place. And their boys team won state the year before, and they came back here. Their athletic director came to the away meet, dual meet. Said, "You're not going to catch us off guard this time." Well, we beat them in all 4 divisions that time, and sent them away with an 0-4 record against us in JV and varsity meets that week. So that was one of my favorite memories here. And also sitting on the 4x4, that picture of me up here that you see with Carrie, and it's my plaque too, is I was sitting at the end of the 4x4, and I always remember Coach Wilkins and Coach Storm, Coach Cleves. There's iconic pictures of those guys just sitting there taking splits, and that was our funnest times of the year. It'd be a really close meet, or it just wasn't a close meet, but we always looked forward to that 4x4 relay, and that's where we do our most joking around and our most friendship building as coaches, and we all kind of describe that as our best times with Coach Carrie Wilkins and Anthony Garcia and myself. In my colleagues with Kerry and Jeff Hines and Anthony and Matt Davis, those first years here, we just made it a great experience coming home after a great experience and a negative experience sometimes at Helix too. Lastly, certainly not least, I'd like to thank my family. All of you coaches know that being family of a coach as dedicated as I am to coaching, and so many of you in the room, is it's a tough hoe. It's a tough deal. My ex-wife Lisa, while we were married, allowed me to be the best coach I could be. Made, those 4 kids in the back the beneficiary of an awful lot of my time, an awful lot of Lisa's time. Even to this day, Lisa and her new husband Rick take a lot of the parental duties for Tyler and Emily while I'm getting home at 8 o'clock on weeknights and things like that. And so I'm forever grateful for both of them. Bet you never thought I'd take my ex-wife. She's a great mom and she's worthy of that. She's not here today, but I hope it gets back to her because I do appreciate it. My kids, Tyler and Emily, have been dragged to every track meet you can think of and victimized an athlete every year and came with me, and so they've kind of grown up around track, and our time together, so much of the time has been a track event, and I appreciate them being patient with me. They never complained about how much time they do or do not get with me. My dad, Robert, is my #1 fan right now. He's the president of our company too, and his business partner, Gary, allowed me to take a lot of time off to be a track coach and occasionally have to reel me back in and get back to business occasionally, but they really allowed me to do a lot of things, and I appreciate that. My sisters, Kim, Jen, Dana, they're all here. Kim scheduled her wedding around track meets, made it a Sunday instead of a Saturday so I could be there. My mom, who's always supported me and lives with me right now, which means she's got the kids and responsibility for feeding them half the time while I'm still at track at 8 o'clock. And my partner, Kyle, who considers this job a passion, not just a hobby, and understands from December to June, I don't have a life outside of track and understands that. My brother, Don, best dang older brother you could ever have. Took me everywhere he went, despite the complaints of his friends or whatever. He taught me how to throw, taught me how to catch, taught me how to run, taught me how to cuss. About everything you can think of, that guy taught me. Despite times like when he tied my hands and my legs behind my back in my underwear and put a jock over my head, and then opened up the windows so all the girls in our little neighborhood could see me. Even despite that, Don's been a great older brother. And, I love him so much for that. It made me a better athlete, definitely. Finally, Larry, Linda, Philip, Eric. Philip, they're my brothers, they know it. Larry passed away 14 months ago. I was there. It was a beautiful moment and a crushing moment at the same time. Linda and Larry took me in sometimes when I was wounded. Built me up, and really appreciative of that. I'll never forget those times in the basement getting 2-hour lectures from Larry about what God would do and what he would do. Never met a man so dedicated to his faith and so little a hypocrite. He wasn't in any way. He really lived it, and it was such a great example in my life. Talking with Linda, Linda in the mornings when I had my bed in Philip's house. I had my own bed. And I was a senior, so he'd go to school at 7:30 and I'd go later, and I'd just sit and talk with Linda every morning, and we had some great talks and some great treasured moments then. I hope what I've said this evening will resonate with everyone. My accomplishments are listed with my name next to them, whether it be an athlete or coach, but all that success is a result of some fantastic people, a lot of them in this room right now. And I just couldn't be anything without those people. There's such a blessing in my life. I didn't invent coaching well. You learn that from amazing role models, and I've had so many of them. They're all sitting here. The ones that are still alive are all sitting here. And that's not a joke. I'm so fortunate this little town of Lakeside put up with me when I came over here from El Cajon and Emerald Junior High, and I cannot be more proud of my time here and all the time I'm going to spend here in the future. And I love all the people in this room, and I'm so glad that everybody came to support me. I have coaches here and former athletes, and Coach Jones is going to be a rival next year, Don. We're in the same league. the first athletes I ever coached. So my first winter track group was over there. I'm 44 years old and I have 39-year-old athletes that are sitting in the back over there. We had a shirt made that Dan Jenkins wrote, and Dan passed away tragically a couple years ago. It said it's not a matter of speed, it's not a matter of skill, it's just a matter of strength and more a matter of will. And those kids personified that. They were a tough bunch of kids, and that started off my passion for coaching, and obviously it's still going. And I'm just so thankful to all of you, and thank you so much for supporting us. And from the committee, thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm going to let Ross go ahead and finish up his emceeing here, and he's got a couple more things to say, and then you guys are free to go home after we clean up a little bit.